Hello, and welcome back, everybody. This is episode 4 of Cutthroat Research. I'm Ryan, and I'm here with Tyler.
Hey everyone.
And we're gonna give you another span of content for our favorite card game, Keyforge. Last week we went over some of the spoilers from the new set coming out, Worlds Collide, in November. There are 2 new houses, obviously, as I'm sure everybody knows by now. And we covered a handful, if not all of those cards until some more got leaked between that episode and now. But we thought we were going to take a different spin on things and cover some of the new cards from the houses that already exist this episode. And me and Tyler are gonna do that today and see what else we might have time for afterward. But there are a lot of cards that have been spoiled. Every time I see that website, there's new cards added on there now.
Yeah, we're getting up there in number of cards we know about, especially for the 2 new houses.
Yeah, there have been a substantial amount of leaks for the new houses, and all for good reason, because both of the new houses seem to have a good variety of all the new mechanics, which is probably why we're seeing them as leaks so much. And I'm sure some of the other houses that are being reprinted are going to get some of those keywords as well. But the new houses mixed with the new mechanics are definitely something worth showing off. I think
they're. It looks like they're not really letting loose the information of what older set cards are coming back quite yet, which is really what I'm more not excited for, but
curious.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that.
Yes.
In relation to the new cards. Also, before we get started, let's just take a moment. We didn't have an episode last week. We really tried to schedule around to get one, but Ryan was working some extra hours at his job, helping out because they were moving offices, and I had some water problems at home.
Right, so between the 2 of us, adult life took over, and we did miss a week of an episode. And I mean, we got 3 episodes in, and it's gonna happen. We're gonna try to avoid it as much as possible. But yeah, we moved the whole office I work for moved to another part of town, so I work like 16, 20 something like hours like over the weekend. So we just couldn't find a way to sync up and get an episode done. So, but we're here, and we're gonna try to minimize that in the future. But we do apologize for any of you who were expecting an episode last Saturday.
And I think we should just jump right into it.
Yeah, that sounds like the plan.
Looks like we got roughly 50 cards.
Yep, and you got the monitor, so I'll leave you in charge of reading most of the card effects for now.
No problem. So we're going to start with the logos, because that's what pops up first. Again, big ups to Brad at the Amazing Spider Tank. He's been uploading spoils basically moments after he finds out about them.
All day long.
Everyone in the community who's getting spoils and putting time and effort into making sure the community stays on top of things. That's awesome. Like, I know Crazy Killing Machine had a few spoils and they uploaded them, so it's...
Yep. Everyone making their fair contribution as they can to maximize the efficiency for the rest of the community. It's great.
So let's go for the first card listed in logos. We have Hologramophone. It's an artifact with an amber bonus. It is a common, and it has an action to ward a creature.
It totally sounds like I'm gonna call it Banana Phone.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call that card Banana
This
Phone.
is.
I think it's good.
This is a card I probably wouldn't get too mad seeing.
Yeah, having it in my deck isn't disappointing, but it's also not thrilling. It's just like
it doesn't spark joy.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a lighter that has like a really cool design on it, but it doesn't work anymore. So you keep it because it looks really neat, but it's not functional.
I mean, warding a creature's strong.
Yeah, warding a creature's strong, and like, I mean, it's an action, it's an artifact, so like every time you call logos, I like the fact that it gets a card out of your deck, so when you shuffle, that's always good from the artifact perspective. I just feel like it's like you said, it's nothing to write home about.
Better than Hollowed Blaster.
Agreed.
All right.
If it was Omni, maybe. No.
Maybe. Now the next one's Daughter. This one we talked about, I think. Yep. I don't remember we talked about on the podcast, or we just talked about it personally.
I think we talked about it off the podcast with some other friends of ours.
It is a Logos creature with 2 power. It is a common with elusive, and during your draw card step, refill your hand to 1 additional card.
I like the fact that it's a cyborg and a scientist. That is interesting. Those are like two interesting.
I like the fact that it's a common.
Yeah, that's very good too.
I think any
The
amount
artwork's
of
really
power
nice.
plus elusive is better than just Mother's 5 power, no elusive.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yes,
like
kind
Mother
of.
can kill a lot of things. Like if you need to be offensive, but like if you're just playing combo game and you just want to let this sit there and live as long as possible, and you're playing a deck that's not going to attack very often, I just think this is all around better. I like the artwork too. It reminds me a lot of like Halo. It has a very Halo-ish like.
It's got good art.
Yeah, it's a very cool artwork.
I like that it's a common. Drawing extra cards is always good.
So I know he didn't do this for the first card, but do we want to do like another like out of 5 rating system for this again, or out of 10 or something?
It's hard to say. Like in all seriousness, like
Well, yeah,
when we did that a couple episodes ago, it was kind of jokey.
right.
But a lot of cards are kind of going to depend on
What gets
what other
reprinted.
cards are in the set.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be good. Like I will never be mad to see this. If I get a deck that has 2 to 3 of these, I'm gonna think it's a good deck before I look at anything else.
Even if it's like a rated 70, you're like, but 3 daughters.
Yeah, exactly. But I do really like this card. I think
Yeah, I
depending
agree.
on what else is there.
It's a very good standalone card, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't need anything to synergize with, which makes it better than other cards right now by default.
This was in, I believe we went over this during the announcement for Worlds Collide. Tau Tau Vapors. It's a Logos action. It's common. It's play, draw 2 cards, archive a
A
card.
common. Damn. Play, draw 2 cards, archive a card. That's very strong.
I like that.
That is absolutely screams combo potential.
Excuse me.
It's an action version of Time Traveler.
Kind
That
of.
also sets you up for future turns. Like, unless your whole hand is Logos, you're never going to be mad about draw 2, archive a card.
Yeah, I think it's a slightly...
Like, period.
You want to go through your deck, so drawing 2 cards is strong.
Mm-hmm.
Archiving a card is strong because it lets you draw more cards at the end of the turn.
And set up for future turns.
Yeah, like I would... Multiples of this card will make a deck feel very fast and very efficient.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a creature now in Logos with 3 power. He is a common. It's a he, I think. Named Quant. Reap, you may play 1 non-Logos action card this turn. So it's like half of a helper bot.
Okay.
Or a phase shift, or...
Right, yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good card. The fact that it says action, I think says a lot about what they're going to try to do with the third set. If they're starting to make that discrepancy, because most of the time it's just like you said, phase shift and helper bot, they don't say that, and the fact that they're making this limitation means that there's a potential for some really dumb creature synergies that aren't going to be allowed.
Well, also, I think part of it is helper bots play, so you just get it when you put them in play. Phase shift is once. This is reap.
True.
You could do this every turn if he stays alive.
Right, and if you have a Logos hand and 1 non-Logos card, that still just gives you the potential to empty your hand and draw more. Yeah, I think overall it's a good card, though. Like, I don't think it's as good as Daughter, but I think it's, like you said, it's not going to be something you're going to be upset about having in your deck.
Next, we have the Babbling Bibliophile, and I don't remember if I saw this personally or we talked about this before. It's a Logos creature with 1 power, no armor. Reap, draw 2 cards, and he is a common.
A cyborg and a scientist as well. I think this is probably one of the better like turn 1 cards, but after that, like he's gonna be really difficult unless you have a big taunt board or some kind of synergy.
Unless you have hologramophone and you ward him.
Yeah, you can ward him, but like that depends on the board too. Like after turn 1, if they play 4 or 5 creatures, the warding isn't gonna do much either.
It's true. But I like him.
Yeah, I like him as a card.
It's a strong
for
effect
sure.
if he sticks around, but he's going to be hard to stick around. I think it's a good fit in common.
He's one of those cards that it looks like as long as you use him once, he did his job, but if you don't use him once, it's just a little disappointing to have it in your deck.
Yeah.
Like getting it off 1 time a game is just like, that would be ideal. But one power is just rough. Like so many things just do 1 damage, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And now we have Academy Training. It's an upgrade for Logos. If you control this creature, it belongs to House Logos instead of its original house. This creature gains Reap, draw a card, and this is a rare.
A Doc Bookton that goes on non-Logos creatures and makes it Logos. That's really good. That just turns any creature you control into a Bookton.
The reason I feel this is pretty strong is because it's a Logos upgrade. you can have a creature out that you played last. Like turn 1, you can play
A Dusk Witch or something, and then you just
something, anything, and then turn 2, you make it a Logos creature and reap with it and draw a card.
immediately. Yeah.
So you get an immediate bonus. You can kind of house cheat. Like I could see maybe if they're dumb creature combos.
Yeah, there might
In
be
various houses, you can make something into Logos and then take advantage of it that way.
right. Imagine it with like. No, that doesn't even work. I was gonna say Spy Master, but he has Omni anyway. But they're yeah, I think overall it's a great card. I don't see any drawbacks to it. I don't think you're ever gonna be like upset about having that in your deck. It being a rare means it's gonna be pulled less often, so that's kind of disappointing. There might be people out there who don't get this card immediately or get to abuse its power. Me included, I'm sure. But the card overall looked pretty good.
But Logos and Starline seem to have like a heavy upgrade theme.
Right.
Star Alliance especially.
Star Alliance definitely has a strong upgrade synergies with some of their upgrade, like their half upgrades and like half creature cards and stuff like that. But Logos is kind of dipping in there. They're dipping their feet in. We have Rocket Boots. We have a couple other upgrades in Logos now, but it seems like this new wave of them is a bit stronger even.
Yeah. So this next card, I actually think is really powerful. It was on stream during Gen Con.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Logos creature with 4 power, no armor. It is Sanitation Engineer. He's a common cyborg scientist with Hazardous 1, and his reap effect is discard a card from your hand.
I think that's great.
I think it's really strong. I think discarding cards is one of those things I think people have a weird negative connotation with. Like we talked about the Yerk thing.
I love the Yerks.
But discarding cards is strong because you get rid of... You're handcrafting. You're setting up a better turn for yourself.
Yep. And like, you know, if your opponent already has 2 keys and you have that interdimensional graft in your hand, you just get rid of it and get one more card that's actually going to do something for you. You don't have to wait until you call Logos and discard it.
Interdimensional graft gives you an amber.
If not, if they're forging their 3rd key.
No, you get 1 amber for playing it.
Oh, for playing it, yeah, I guess. But still, that's like, depending on the situation, not very useful. Getting
like
a chain out of it, but yeah, that guy's great. I think he's a solid card for sure.
He's a good common.
Imagine having 2 or 3 of those in a deck, and then suddenly you have a deck that's rated like 75, but like all the bad cards in it you can just discard anyway.
That's what makes him strong. It's like, how many times have you seen a deck where you're like, man, this is almost perfect. I have like 6 cards that make this not great.
Yep, and then this just helps you cycle through those cards without having to use them.
Yep.
Or without having to call the house that they're in to use them or discard them.
That as well, yeah.
Useful.
So, next one in Logos, Mini Groupthink Tank. It's a creature with 3 power, 2 armor, robot experiment, uncommon, and its play, fight, and reap effect is deal 8 damage to a creature that shares a house with 2 of its neighbors.
I think that card text is just ridiculous. Like, I think that whole effect is wild. I like it. Dealing 8 damage is like extreme, but I understand like they're trying to find ways to increase the damage output on effects, but giving them very specific and like niche requirements. So I like the card overall. I think it'll be useful.
It's gonna stay around having 2 armor.
Yep, it'll sit for a while, and just having a play effect too. The fact that it has play, you can deal 8 damage for playing a creature.
So here's the thing
it's pretty
too.
Solid.
It's not optional. And it doesn't say enemy creature. So if this is sandwiched between 2 Logos creatures
It'll have to kill
and you
itself.
fight or reap, it's going to have to blast itself.
Yep.
So, something to be careful about.
Right.
Now we have Thorium Plasmate. It is an action in Logos with an amber bonus in the common slot. Its play effect is move an enemy creature anywhere in its controller's battle line. Deal 2 to that creature for each of its neighbors that share a house with it.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a potential for 4 damage off of 1 card, which is good. It answers decks that just have like an abundant amount of creatures in the same house. I think overall it's a good card. I like where they're going with the card effect. So it seems like they're getting more descriptive and intricate, like the effects themselves, but they're not necessarily getting more difficult. They're just adding a layer of like uniqueness to the card effect so that they can keep pumping out like infinite unique cards.
So it looks kind of like Logos is going to start becoming this house that I don't want to say slows the game down, but punishes you for like unloading your hand onto the board.
Yeah, if you go really big, they're gonna say stop that and just like get rid of it all, and then you're gonna be back to square one. I feel like they're gonna be really good at resetting the board state without board wipes.
Kind of like an anti-rush deck per se.
Yep.
But not rush in the sense like not racing like getting bonus amber, but like decks that like to put creatures out and reap.
Yep, and just let those creatures sit there.
Sanctum. I mean, if you see Sanctum from set 1 or 2.
And even to some extent Untamed, some of their bigger creatures just kind of drop themselves on the board and sit there, and they just become reap fodder. But Logos seems to be the deck that wants to answer that, for sure.
Logos doesn't want you to reap.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now another Logos creature, EDAI, Eddie, 4x4. 3-power creature. He's a common. He's an AI scientist. Play, archive a card, and here's the big one. Your opponent's keys cost +1 for each card in your archive.
Wow.
This guy's sweet. This guy's really cool. If there's even half the archive support in set 3 that Logos had in set 2...
Dude, it'll be insane. Having 5 cards in your archives. Like I've done that before. I have decks that can do that with no problem.
Even just normally, his normal
effect makes it cost 7 out the gate, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I like him a lot.
I feel like this card is the first card we've seen that like his usefulness is going to be directly dependent upon the other Logos cards in the deck. Like he's going to be good on his own, like he's going to be okay, but like he's really going to shine in that archiving heavy Logos deck or engine that we've seen.
I mean, if this was a common creature that had a play effect that just said archive a card,
it would still be very strong. Yeah, absolutely.
But the bonus is just
right.
It's gonna be good.
I mean, getting the maximum potential off it is only going to be seen in archive heavy decks, but when we see that, it's going to be insane.
Alrighty, next one is called Information Exchange. It's a Logos action. It's also a common. Play effect is steal 1. If your opponent stole amber from you on their previous turn, steal 2 instead.
That's nice. That's a Logos direct answer to bait and switch. Like straight up.
That's just
anti-shadows.
It's creeping in on Logos, like not secondary but tertiary effect, because Logos has had steal.
Yep.
They're one of the houses that like
had little bits of stealing.
Had very little
Bat
steal.
drone.
Yeah.
Right.
But there it is. And Discombobulator. It looks like it's an upgrade for Logos with an amber bonus. I believe that's an uncommon, but it could also be a rare. The picture's kind of low res. The creature gains your amber cannot be stolen.
That's pretty cool.
So it turns someone into a gatekeeper.
Creature. Yeah.
I like that.
I like it, yeah. I
do not want to see more than one of it in my deck, though.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Unless I have
another house
support.
that has like big creatures.
Or just like Star Alliance with all their like upgrade support and bonuses. So maybe this will be the set that having multiple upgrades feels good. Finally.
Yeah, it could be, as long as you have the creatures to put them on. That's where upgrades really falter, is the fact that you have an empty board and no creatures. The upgrades don't do anything.
You can put them on your opponent's creature.
You can, but some of them benefit your opponent. And then you're like, do I want the amber gain for the,
All right. This next one is a Logos creature called Titan Guardian. He has 5 power, 1 armor. He is an uncommon? Common. Sorry. These are screen grabs from the Fantasy Flight Live YouTube video. So
Gotcha.
He has Taunt and Destroyed. If Titan Guardian is not on a flank, draw 2 cards. That's good. Yeah,
that's overall a great card.
Because he's going to prevent himself from being destroyed when he's not on a flank by protecting the people on his other side.
Mm-hmm.
They have to fight him first.
Right.
That's I like that. He's solid.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to think of something that would make him not useful in every situation. Just like, no, that's good.
Even just
great.
a 5-1 with taunt is great.
Yep.
Drawing 2 cards. I like this.
He's a decent turn 1 card too, because unless they can answer him right away, your next turn is just like beep boop beep. You know what I mean? Just like fill him up. It's just a 1-turn threat, and you're like, answer this or fail.
All right. Next up is Code Monkey. He is a Logos creature, 3 power, no armor. He has Deploy. So it's cool that they're bringing back. Like, some people were worried that they wouldn't have set 2 mechanics in set 3, and etc. But I think that's just. It's going to be kind of like Magic. They introduce a new keyword.
And then they'll kind of linger around other places.
And then it'll still show up.
Mm-hmm.
And as a play effect, archive each neighboring creature. If those creatures share a house, gain 2 amber.
Deploy neighboring. Okay. That's pretty good. That's definitely good. I like that a lot. I like the Logos archiving, like, effects. I feel like a lot of decks do archive, but the way Logos does their archiving is always so, like, interesting to me. And I think that's a solid card. I mean, the fact that you're losing 2 of your creatures is rough, but like gaining the amber and then setting up for a future turn, like it can have its moments for sure. I don't think it's a bad card, but multiples might be a problem.
But like, imagine if Igor's in this set and you're just like, Igor, get those effects.
Monkey.
Code Monkey, archive them both.
Right.
Or even getting double Time Traveler.
Yeah. Yeah, with oh my
drawing
god.
4 cards, archiving both of them.
Then setting up again next turn.
And setting up again next turn.
For real.
This could be sweet. I like the art too. Alright, now we have Self-Bolstering Automata. He is a Logos creature with 1 power, no armor. A robot. He's a rare. And he has a Destroyed effect. If you have any other creatures in play, instead of destroying him, fully heal him, exhaust him, and move him to a flank. If you do, give it 2+1 counters.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's good. I like it. We had a discussion about how this would interact with Bouncing Death Quark.
Yep.
But I think it's because it says instead of destroying it, Bouncing Death Quark would end. Again, this is kind of, it all hinges on, we're waiting on that timing chart that Brad was talking about. It's kind of the same type of ruling as the Doom of the Martyr question. If something is destroyed and their destroyed effect stops them from being destroyed, are they still considered being destroyed?
Yeah. Do their effects still trigger?
If they end up surviving due to the destroyed effect, or the destroyed effect of someone else. Because it's like that whole question, if Doom of the Martyr heals everyone, do you still get Amber for Nefru?
Right, yeah.
And we haven't really gotten a straight answer on that one. I have a feeling that like this with Bouncing Death Quark, it would just end.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because, like you said, Bouncing Death Quark says you have to destroy something in order to destroy something else. So if something doesn't get destroyed, then the effect wouldn't continue. And I understand that logic on it, but at the same time, I mean, I understand where people would argue that it doesn't, but until we get an official ruling, it's just kind of...
I could see it being ruled both ways because to my knowledge, like say I have an Archimedes out and I play Bouncing Death Quark, I destroy the neighbor, the destroyed effect archives him.
Right.
But I know that still counts as being destroyed for purposes of game state. I just don't know if something's fully healed instead.
If it's still destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this also doesn't say, it does specifically say instead of destroying it.
Yep. And that's not something we've seen on any other card yet. I don't think.
Even Doom of the Martyr isn't worded that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fully heal. But outside of complicated rulings, this guy's sweet because he's just going to get bigger and stick around as long as you have creatures.
Mm-hmm. If he's not the only creature left, he just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
And if the Bouncing Death Quark does work,
he gets huge.
You could just, and they have one.
It's ping pong.
You're making him a 10 million.
Yeah. That's cool.
And one.
Solid card.
He already has one.
Yeah, right.
Alright. Next, house. We are now in Brobnar.
That art's really cool already.
Yeah. This is the one that was in the preview.
Yeah.
I really like this one. This is the Ire Staff. You get a Amber bonus for playing it. It's an artifact. It is a common. And its action is enrage a creature and give that creature a +1 power token.
Yep. I remember this one. We talked about this.
I think it's good because you could use it offensively and defensively.
Yep, I thought it was okay just because really. I don't like the enrage mechanic as much as the other two new ones coming out, but I can see its uses for sure.
I think how good I think this is completely dependent on how good ward ends up being.
Yeah,
because this is a direct counter to warding a
that's
creature.
fair. Right. Overall, not bad.
I like it. Next, we have Fire Breath. It is a uncommon upgrade. Gives you an amber bonus. This creature gets +3 power and gains before fight, deal 2 damage to each neighbor of the creature this creature fights.
That sounds great. Everything about that card sounds fine.
Yeah, what's it? Ogopogo?
I think
the
so.
one who does that?
I think so.
It's the opposite Bingo Bang Bang. Because Bingo Bang is a 2 power, does 5 to the...
Yeah, he's the
and
5
there's a
that
5 power
does
that
2.
does 2.
Yep.
Makes you a tiny Ogopogo.
That's pretty good. Plus 3 power too, like that turns 2s into 5s and still does 2 to everything. Like there's nothing.
Oh, if you put this on the Bingo Bang Bang,
Yeah.
now he's a 5 that deals 7.
Yeah, it is. Dang. I wonder, do you think Bingo Bang Bang's gonna get reprinted?
Who knows?
He's on the playmat.
He's done.
It's over.
If you're on a playmat, you got to go next set.
Sorry, Bingo.
Those are the rules.
Man, I can't wait for the Duskwitch playmat.
All right, now we have Berserker Slam. It is an action that gives you an amber bonus. Its play effect is deal 4 to a flank creature. If it destroys the creature, its controller loses 1.
Pretty good.
It's a common.
Pretty good.
Which I would love to see.
You get 1 for
2
free.
of
You
these
deal
in a
4
deck.
for free. Yeah. The off chance that your opponent loses 1, which won't happen always, but often enough to be like, yeah, okay, I'm down.
It matters,
Yeah,
for sure.
It's significant.
I like it.
Very cool.
Brobnar, let's keep going. We have Alaka. He is a 4-power creature. Giant, common. He is number 1 in the set.
Oh, wow.
So that makes him number 1 in my heart.
First guy that they made for this new set.
I don't know. I think it's just alphabetically.
No questions
and Brobnar. If you've used a creature to fight this turn, he enters play ready. I like it.
That's cool.
That's solid.
Yep. That starts making you think about the order of your fighting and your card play too. Like people already do that obviously for other combos, but I think Brobnar kind of has it a little bit easy in regards to like, do I play my cards first or do I fight first? Or it doesn't. In Brobnar, it feels like it matters less than most of the other houses. What order you play your cards in, and this.
I think it matters more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only time I've ever seen someone really go, "Oh man, I played that in the wrong order," is like a loot the bodies, war chest type situation.
Yeah.
But this card makes you think about the order, which is good. It's gonna.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like there's a few cards in Brobnar that do make you make sure you do things in the right order. But compared to other houses, Brobnar has it pretty easy for you to think about things in the right order. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like Logos playing cards in the right order seems like it's way more punishing if you mess up than Brobnar does most of the time, aside from a few cards. So I think this is a good addition to Brobnar to force Brobnar decks and people who are playing it to realize that they're are still playing this game in a way that needs to be optimal, and it forces you to like rethink yourself, kind of like how a lot of the Logos lovers like to play.
Yeah, I mean, I think any card that kind of forces someone in a subtle way to make better plays like this is strong. Because like, what if you're a new player and you read this card and then you think, oh, I never thought about fighting, then playing a card, then fighting again.
Right. Exactly.
And now all of a sudden you know a new layer of the game that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say only good players think about, but
you like
it's that next step.
Yeah, you unlock that path, like that fork in the road that was never there before. You see that fork, and now that one play that you learned and that one kind of interaction that makes sense to you now can just open up this whole other like endless web of other plays too, and that's good. The game kind of teaches you while you do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be through you going online and like listening to a podcast or watching a stream.
Literally,
the game is literally now showing you. Small things. I like that. That's good game design.
Absolutely.
Now we have Skull.
That card art.
He is a 3-power creature in Brobnar.
Such a good card art.
He's a beast, uncommon, with Assault 3, and after an enemy creature is destroyed by Skull's assault damage, give a friendly creature +1 power.
Oh, not a neighboring creature too. That's just a friendly creature.
It could even be
pretty
him.
Cool. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty cool. I like it. I mean, I think that it looks, the artwork and the card effect feels very untamey to me a little bit too. Like I could see this card being in Untamed, but I don't see a bad thing about it being in Brobnar. It fits just as well. I think it's the full moon that's messing with me.
Well, I think they put it in Brobnar. It's what's it called? It's Mythos, the two wolves.
Yeah.
He's one of them, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure. There's Skull and Fenrir,
Yes.
I believe. Maybe Fenrir's in here too. We'll see.
That would be cool.
This one I saw and I really liked. There's an artifact called the Big One. It's 1 amber bonus. The art is just a giant bomb.
Yep, in a desert.
It is
with
a rare.
giant...
After a creature is played, put a fuse counter on the Big One. If there are 10 or more fuse counters on the Big One, destroy each creature and each artifact.
That's crazy. That is so crazy.
That's good.
Dang. That makes me think of like, you remember that game in Mario Party where you had to like inflate the balloon?
Yeah.
And if you went too far, it would pop. That's what this is.
But with creatures.
With creatures, you're just like every time you play something, it's like, pff, 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 and you're just waiting. Man, that's gonna be super like mind gamey. I like it. I think it's a great card.
It's gonna create a weird.
There's gonna be tension. That's
a
like
weird mind game with your opponent for sure. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Next we have Shorty. I like him too. He's a common, 4 power, no armor with Assault 4, and he has a Reap effect. Enrage Shorty.
Oh, enraging himself is kind of tough, but the Assault 4 makes up for it. Doing 8 damage is pretty solid. I like it.
I like him.
Yeah.
I don't even mind enraging him because I think that's kind of like he has a strong effect for a common.
And that's his drawback.
Don't reap.
Yeah, that's his drawback. Just kill stuff forever.
Next up we have Stiltkin. I did not see this one, but I like this art.
Artwork's very cool.
He's a Brobnar creature with 2 power, no armor. He's a common. He has Skirmish, and after a giant creature is played adjacent to Stiltkin, ready and fight with Stiltkin.
Nice. That's very cool. Only being 2 is kind of rough, but the Skirmish is absolutely...
Well, he's a goblin.
Yeah. Oh, he's a goblin, so goblin has to synergize with giants.
With his stilts.
Nice.
I like him.
Very cool.
It's just a free 2 damage a lot of the time.
Yep.
It's a good common. Feathered Shaman, we're in Untamed now. This was the one we previewed, or they previewed with the article.
Yep.
The 2 power, elusive, fight, reap, ward each of the neighbors, and it is an uncommon. Decent card. I liked it then, I like it now.
Seems good.
It's another human witch. Witches are always pretty solid. Alright, we have Unnatural Selection. It is an action card for Untamed with an amber bonus. Looks like it's a common. Play, choose 3 friendly creatures and 3 enemy creatures and destroy each other creature.
Oh, wow. That's super interesting.
I don't know how useful that'll be. Like, that'll only be good if you guys both have huge boards.
Giant boards, yeah. Exactly. I mean...
Or if you have a small board and they have a huge board.
Right, yep. If they have a giant... But I mean, it's still kind of a board wipe. And if they have, like, a lot of creatures on their board, picking the 3 worst ones isn't that hard. But
this is good for... I've had a couple games where I'm like, man, I want to do all these things, but they just have a huge board and I can't stay on board if only they had a couple less creatures.
Yeah.
Like, this is for that.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad card, but it's not a great card. Yeah.
What are we looking at here? I can barely read this. Ghost Hawk? Looks like it might be a common or uncommon. Deploy and play. You may reap with each neighboring creature, 1 at a time.
Oh, that's cool.
2 power, untamed creature. Pretty cool.
I like it.
I like reaping.
I like deploy and untamed. That's pretty cool too. I don't think we've seen that yet.
We're getting to some pretty low res pictures here.
Yeah, rough readers.
Moorwolf is a 2 power, the cutest art I've ever seen. Untamed creature.
It's adorable.
It is the first thing with a wolf keyword. It is a beast and a wolf.
Nice.
Even all the other wolves we've seen were just
beasts. Right.
It has skirmish and a play effect. Ready each other wolf creature.
Oh.
And it looks like it's a rare.
Okay, so maybe it being a rare means that it'll default come with other wolves to make its effect useful.
Or it might be like a plague
algorithm.
rat situation.
Yeah.
Where you just get multiples of this.
True. Some kind of manipulation to the algorithm with that card for sure.
But I like it.
Type. Yep, I think it's great.
Skirmish.
No problems here.
Now we're in Shadows. That was it for Untamed. Shadows, Pestering Blow. This was a preview card from the article. 1 amber bonus for playing it. Action, it is a common. Deal 1 damage to a creature and enrage it.
Yep, that makes perfect sense to me. That's a fine card.
This is a super countered award.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get rid of the ward counter and you make them have to fight you.
Yep.
I like it. Next you have... can't quite read under there. Is it Beaker Hill?
I can't tell.
He's an elf with 1 power. He is a common. Ooh. He is elusive and each... Breaker Hill. Huh? It's in his text.
Oh.
I'm silly. Each of Breaker Hill's neighbors gain action, steal 1 amber.
Steal 1 amber. Dang. That's awesome.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
with
strong.
the elusive. I like the one power elusive shadows creatures. I love the theme of that.
Yeah.
It's super good. Very nice.
I'm gonna...
Yeah, no complaints.
Chain Gang. This is a
Chain
very
Gang.
interesting card.
That's a cool art.
It is 3 power. It is a rare, I believe. Or I'm just blind. Uncommon.
I can't see from here.
It's low res. It could be uncommon or rare. After you play Subtle Chain, ready Chain Gang. So it's going to probably come with Subtle Chains.
Mm-hmm.
Action, steal 1 amber and shuffle a Subtle Chain from your discard pile into your deck.
That's pretty good. So as long as it stays on board, you get to keep cycling through.
And then Subtle Chain is the next card. It's an amber bonus for playing it. It's an action. Uncommon, so I think they're both uncommons. Play. Your opponent discards a random card from his or her hand. So, it's Mind Barb.
Yeah.
Like exactly Mind Barb, just color shifted shadows.
And
But it
synergizing
goes
with a
with
creature.
The other card, yep.
That's so good.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
I like how they have a Martian in the art.
Mm-hmm. Tribute to Mars.
Rip.
Rip.
Now we have Hit and Run. Oh. It is an action in Mars. Or, I mean, in Shadows. It's a common. Play, deal 2 damage to a creature, and return a friendly creature to your hand.
That's not bad.
This could be strong.
Yeah, Ronnie wrist clocks.
Any play effect. It could be...
Oh, I
get
know.
double value out of it if it's on a Shadows creature.
Yeah.
I like it. I like this card a lot.
Yeah, I think that card's great.
Next we have Whisper. Elusive. It looks like it's an uncommon. 3 power. Action. Lose 1 amber. If you do, destroy a creature.
Seems good.
This is like kind of what we were talking about a couple episodes ago.
Yep.
About how like maybe effects will start costing amber.
Right. You have to pay for it, and then you're... That's again another layer of that amber manipulation, which I think is great. It's the same as using life points to pay for things, but you have to work your way up for the amber, so it's not like they're just permanently there, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I like it. I think that's a cool card.
We have Hawk. It is a action in Shadows. You get an amber for playing it. Looks like it's a common. Play, destroy an artifact. If you do, gain 1 amber.
Is it Hawk or Hack? I can't read it.
Hawk.
This far.
Like
Okay.
man, I hawked that.
Yeah.
Like, I stole that.
Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
Artifact control gives you an amber.
Yep.
So you get 2 amber from this if you actually destroy an artifact. And
True.
you could destroy your own if you really need some amber.
Yeah. Seems good. I like the fact
it.
that Shadows has something like that now.
Yeah.
I don't think they have they have a lot of creature destruction, sacrifice and stuff, but I haven't seen too much of them with artifact destruction.
Now we have Trust No One. I remember seeing this and really liking it.
Yeah.
It's a Shadows card. It's a common. Play. Steal 1 amber. If there are no friendly creatures in play, instead steal 1 for each house represented among enemy creatures to a maximum of 3.
That's cool. So on an empty board, you can steal up to 4.
I feel like this is the new bait and switch.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Because,
Stealing 4 is huge.
nothing will ever be the new bait and switch, but this is that I'm behind on tempo,
I'm going to swing it
but
hard.
I'm going to make a huge swing.
Yep.
It doesn't end your turn, so you can then fill up your board.
It's better than Swindle for sure. It's great. Yeah.
I like it.
I agree.
Now we have Mug. We have a lot of
Actions.
stealing words.
Yeah.
It's an action. It's a common. 1 amber bonus. Move 1 amber from a creature to your pool. Deal 2 damage to that creature.
Solid card.
It's good.
It's a very it's just another version of Nerve Blast basically. It's set 3 Nerve Blast, kind of.
You can do it to your own creatures too.
Yep.
So you can stop your opponent from getting maybe something you exalted.
Right, yeah.
By giving it to yourself and dealing 2 to them. And if they're Saurian, they might have armor and not even care about that.
Yep.
I like it.
Super
This is a
cool.
strong card.
I already saw that one.
Yep. This looks
Unless
like a
that's
duplicate.
a disc
Oh,
now.
it's probably the disc one, but I
Yeah.
cannot read that.
This has weird names.
Dendrix
Unga Dunga.
with 5 power. It looks like he might be a rare or an uncommon.
Looks like a fight effect.
Fight. Your opponent discards a random card from their hand.
Seems cool. I like it.
It's okay.
Yeah, like discarding your opponent's cards isn't always like the greatest because they just refill
I feel
anyway,
like
but discarding your own cards is
You
better.
have to survive for fight, so you're only really going to get 1, maybe 2 out of this, unless they have a lot of elusive or a lot of ward.
Right. I'd rather discard
maybe,
my own cards.
Well, maybe thematically this is to punish warding.
Yeah, maybe. That's true.
So, like, you hit a warded creature, they discard a card.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, anyway.
Seems good.
And this is just the splash image of all the cards together.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are kind of clipped off, so I don't think we're going to go over
Yeah,
these.
it's a little rough.
We've seen those. The Grim Reaper again. Awesome. I'm so stoked for anomalies.
Yeah, the anomalies are going to be awesome. I hope there's, like, a lot of them. Like, I hope there's not, like, 5, you know what I mean? Like, I want there to be, like, a giant pool of anomalies.
Well, there's at least 7, because they're numbered differently, and this is AO7.
Okay.
So, got at least 7, which 7 wouldn't be a bad number to do. No, that doesn't make sense, because there's going to be more houses. Because if they're from future sets, from different houses, I was going to say 7 houses, 7 anomalies.
But there's, like, 2 rotating
but these can
sets
show
a
up
year
in any house. So this one's Brobnar that they previewed, but it could be Logos, it could be Shadows.
Yeah, it could be any house, literally. And I think it'd be cool, like, when Mars and Sanctum come back, getting these anomalies from this Worlds Collide set in those other houses too. Like, that's always going to be a possibility as well. So it's super interesting, and I'm glad that they brought it in like now instead of any later. Like, it's a good time because it's literally the earliest moment they could kind of show off these cards without it being like awkward to the game. But I think this effect is great. The haunted effect. Overall, like that's probably one of my favorite keywords now. Like, I can't wait to see more cards like that.
I can't wait for Spoopy House.
Spoopy House. Yeah.
Can't wait to be right about that. Then this is just
we covered a lot of these already. I think.
Stuff that was covered, but like
a lot of the upgrade creatures in the Star Alliance, and then a lot of the dinosaurs, the Philosophosaurus.
Yeah, these are all ones that we went over, just group shots of them.
Yep.
Oh, there's a new Untamed one.
Giant Gnawball.
Gnawbill. It's a 5-power creature. After a player chooses an active house, that player destroys an artifact of that house.
Dang.
That's pretty strong.
That is pretty strong. I like that.
And it counts against you as well. Hugger Mugger is a Shadows creature.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 3 power and elusive. Play, capture 1. Then if your opponent has more forged keys than you, steal 1.
Nice.
It's a nice little effect.
Yeah, I like the 2-part effects too. Like, just getting something guaranteed and then something else that could be, meeting the requirements. You can get more value out of it. I think those are great cards to show like the skill of a player, opposed to like just having like the dumbest hand at the dumbest time.
Yeah, and those are all of the spoils so far.
That's everything.
That's pretty
We
much
are
everything.
caught up on
other
spoils.
than what might have dropped since we started this.
Yeah, since this morning now. That's great. Hopefully you guys are as pumped as we are to check out this new set as soon as it comes out. I know I already pre-ordered a box.
Yeah, I have 2 boxes pre-ordered.
Yeah, I'm probably going to try to get 1 or 2 more and then just kind of chill and see how funds are closer to November. But I definitely want to grab a few boxes of this. But I think we got a decent length episode for now. Thank you guys for sticking around and listening to our opinionated discussion on the the new spoilers from Worlds Collide.
Yeah. As always, let us know if you guys have any subjects you want us to go over. Now that we're through with spoilers, we're gonna try and have some, I guess more like community driven content.
Yeah, more concrete stuff, because this was all just, we need to do this because it just happened and we want to cover it while it's still kind of fresh in everyone's mind.
Sensationalist media, this stuff.
Yep. So it's now that this is all kind of caught up, we'll probably wait until there's a much longer list of more spoils that we haven't covered before we do another coverage video or episode rather. And until then, we're gonna try and cover some more rulings. We're definitely gonna get some recording done. I know we got a GoPro finally. We have some better equipment to bring to our LGS, and hopefully record some game for upload on YouTube. So definitely check it out, guys. Go subscribe to YouTube.
Yeah.
Find us on Podbean. You can check us out on the Facebook group Cutthroat Research, or you can shoot us an email at cutthroatlabs at gmail.com if you guys have any suggestions for future episodes.
I tried to get some more gameplay video up. I know I told you guys I was going to work on that, but some of the footage just going over it was kind of not great. There was a lot of cards being played out of frame because the camera got bumped, and it's also not the best resolution. So we have a better, like Ryan was saying, we have a better setup now to record gameplay videos in a more streamlined, professional manner, and hopefully that I don't know. My soft goal is we're gonna try and get one of these podcasts up every week and maybe one gameplay video a week.
Yep.
But I think it'd be cool if I could get more than one gameplay video up a week.
Yeah, and like I said, the last week has been rough for both of us. We had a lot going on, so going forward, we're gonna try to keep a little bit more strict scheduling with making sure everything is caught up to date. And we do apologize again, but going forward, you should see more content out of us. Probably at least a little exponentially. We want it to be more frequently and more often, but we also want to make sure we have the best quality we can give you guys, because nobody wants to watch anything that's subpar content. Someone's just going to click onto the next video, and we understand that. So we're going to maximize that, and you guys will see some uploads here in the next few weeks for sure. Definitely.
But yeah, comment what you want to see if you're on YouTube, or send us an email what you want to see. On YouTube, Ryan said last time, but we go over here, we're going to do a giveaway at 100 subs.
Yep, 100 subs.
No, we're not super close yet, but, we got a pretty big community. We can get there.
Still something to remind everybody of until it happens. We're going to do 100 subs and see where we are around then, and then, grind up to a 250 and 500 and just make our way to the top.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. If you're still here, thanks for listening the whole way through, and we will see you next week.
See you guys later.